You're welcome to the news on NT International. I'm Lami Ali, and the sign language interpreter today is Shegun Ajayi. Let's begin with the headlines. Nigeria commits to clean energy transition at 41st Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition Conference. Federal government moves to end resident doctors' strike. Also on the news, the Finance Ministry holds private sector dialogue series with Southeast business leaders in Lagos. Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima has advised the governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Dowediri, to demonstrate leadership by uniting all members of the party for the progress and stability of the party and the state. The Vice President gave the advice with an assurance that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government will support the administration to achieve the needed development of Bayelsa State. This was as the official defection of Bayelsa State Governor Senator Dowediri to the All Progressives Congress APC in Yenokwa. The report will come to you subsequently. Now, Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin is currently leading a high-level delegation of the House to the 8th China International Import Expo. A statement signed by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Speaker, Musa Krishi, indicates that the visit followed an invitation extended to the Speaker by the Chinese Embassy in Nigeria to deliver a 5-minute goodwill message at the Expo. Thereafter, the Speaker will hold a bilateral meeting with the Premier of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Li Qiang, where he will highlight key areas of collaboration between Nigeria and China, including parliamentary cooperation. Speaker Abbas will also participate in the Africa-China Economic and Cultural Forum. Nigeria has set the stage for a high-level gathering of South Africa's G20 outreach meeting in Abuja, aimed at turning Africa's vast potentials into tangible economic prosperity. Declared open by the Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture, Abubakar Kari, he said Nigeria and South Africa prioritize unlocking the powerful connection between farmers and industries to sustain the whole of the African continent. Garba Nata'ala reports.
What makes this development worthwhile is that it brings together Africa's biggest economies, that is South Africa and Nigeria, at the time the African continent is seeking greater influence by reshaping its governance structure economically with a clear action plan. Leaders here have identified Africa's agricultural potential as the antidote for its industrial revolution. This is the major push for intra-African cooperation by leveraging South Africa's role in the G20 and Nigeria's own agricultural strength to ensure food security and transform the continent's vast potential into real-time economic growth.
With the large consumer base and the growing integration into global markets, these opportunities reaffirm Nigeria's commitment to building a globally competitive agro-industrial economy open to partnerships and investment. We therefore look forward to collaborating with you to achieve these goals and build more sustainable food systems.
We seek to transform agriculture into a catalyst for industrialization, and as has been done elsewhere, into regional trade integration and sustainable development. This is how we move from subsistence to scale, from commodities to competitiveness, from isolation to interconnected prosperity.
With the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability, the forum serves as a preparatory meeting ahead of the main G20 summit in Ethiopia. The resolve here is firm, sending a clear signal that Africa need not to be a participant but a driving force in global economy. Garba Muhammad Nata'ala, NTA News.
Nigeria is committed to deploying technology in cleaner, profitable and efficient upstream oil production. The Executive Vice President Upstream NNPC Limited, Udi Intia, revealed as the ongoing Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference that they are working towards the realization of the production of 2 million barrels of oil per day by 2027. Here is Lydia Sampson with the reports.
Leveraging cutting-edge technology and strategic collaboration, Udin Tia said, Nigeria is focused on boosting oil production output. The move aligns with efforts to restore Nigeria's position as a leading oil producer in Africa and enhance revenue generation.
We are intentionally and sometimes unbeknownst to us, we find ourselves collaborating more. There's a lot of collaboration going on between NUCs, between IOCs, partners, and looking in to see what they can do together. Less of competition and more of collaboration.
To this effect, he noted that innovations in digital oilfield management and automation are already transforming operations, enhancing reservoir monitoring and optimizing production. He added that partnerships with global and local stakeholders to ensure knowledge exchange and sustainable practices are being prioritized. This approach is to deliberately position Nigeria as a leader in responsible energy development, balancing economic growth with environmental stewardship. From Abu Dhabi, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Tanzania's Samia Suluhu Hassan was inaugurated as president on Monday, State TV showed, with an internet blackout still holding after election protests in which the opposition says hundreds were killed by security forces. From Apanyi reports that earlier the national broadcaster said the public would not attend the events.
President Samia Suluhu Hassan, a soft-spoken politician who unexpectedly found herself as the first woman to lead Tanzania, triumph in the East African nation's election after barring opponents and brutally crushing protest. Hassan, who according to the Electoral Commission won 98% of the vote, took the oath in front of officials and foreign dignitaries on what appeared to be parade grounds in State House in the capital Dodoma rather than at a stadium as usual. The election sparked widespread protest and a government crackdown in which the opposition says hundreds have been killed. Hassan, 65, took no chances in the run-up to the October 29 polls, with the main opposition candidates jailed or barred from running and the opposition alleging abduction and murders targeting her critics. Hassan was born on January 27, 1960 in Zanzibar, a former hub for the slave and spice trade in the Indian Ocean. Hassan became a development officer in the Zanzibar government and later a project manager for the UN's World Food Programme. In 2000, she entered Zanzibar's House of Representatives and served as a local government minister, first for youth employment, women and children, and then for tourism and trade investment. In 2010, she was elected to the National Assembly on mainland Tanzania. Then President Jakaya Kikwete appointed her Minister of State for Union Affairs. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Turkey hosts a string of top diplomats from the Islamic world to bring their influence to bear on the future of Gaza as fears grow for the increasingly fragile truce. In a bid to drive forward reconstruction efforts, Turkey's Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan invited his counterparts from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Pakistan and Indonesia to Istanbul for talks. Again, from Apanyi reports.
The October 10 ceasefire in the 2-year-long Israel-Hamas war, brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump, has been sorely tested by continued Israeli strikes and claims of Palestinian attacks on Israeli soldiers. Turkey's counterparts from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Pakistan and Indonesia were called to a meeting with Trump in late September on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly, just days before he unveiled his plan to end the fighting in Gaza. Turkish Foreign Ministry sources say Ankara will press them to support plans for Palestinians to take control of the coastal territory's security and governance. Earlier on Monday, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Hamas appeared committed to the truce, pointing the finger of blame at Israel. Fidan is expected to repeat calls for Israel to allow more humanitarian aid into Gaza, where aid agencies have complained their convoys do not have access to alleviate the famine conditions in part of the territory. Israel has long viewed Turkey's diplomatic overtures with suspicion, over Ankara's close ties with Hamas and has expressed its firm opposition to Turkey having any role in the international peacekeeping force being put together to oversee the ceasefire. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Minister of State for Finance Dr. Doris Uzokanet has convened the first edition of the government's private sector dialogue series, a landmark forum designed to bridge the communication gap between government and enterprise and to align national economic reforms with the realities of everyday business. The maiden edition themed Finance and SME Growth Roundtable, held in Lagos, brought together captains of industry, federal agency heads, market leaders and key Lagos state officials. It marks the beginning of a structured and continuous dialogue between policymakers and Nigeria's private sector, starting with the vibrant trading and entrepreneurial community of Southeast origin domiciled in Lagos. The minister said the dialogue series is a platform where the voices of entrepreneurs, innovators and community leaders directly shape the priorities of governance. The Honourable Minister highlighted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision of a business-friendly Nigeria built on partnership and reform. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Waledu, who joined the session, commended the initiative and pledged full federal government support. He affirmed that dialogue, timing and consultations are keys to effective reform and announced forthcoming digital reforms such as the National Single Window Project to enhance trade facilitation and reduce import-export costs. The federal government has called on the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors to resume work as some of their demands have been met, while others are under review. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaka Adekunle Salako, said this at a ministerial briefing on the ongoing strike by the body. Haman Jabani reports.
The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors commenced an indefinite nationwide strike on the 1st of November 2025 following the association's recent agitation over welfare and professional concern. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaka Adekunle Salako, says discussions are progressing in all points raised by the health union, including specialized and other allowances, salary relativity, appointment of consultant cadre in the hospitals, and other welfare-related issues. He noted that while collective bargaining is ongoing, none of the unions is expected to embark on any industrial action, which is part of the agreement.
We have not been sitting idle, contrary to some of the information that is being pushed out. We have been addressing these issues one by one, and some of them we have been able to find solutions or a pathway to get a solution to them. Our appeal is for the resident doctors to go back to work. The CBA is ongoing. Like I said, one of the key conditions of the CBA is that while it is ongoing, there should not be an industrial dispute. We would like the resident doctors to respect this condition and also respect the efforts that the ministry is making by going back to work.
We urge the public to understand with us, and if you have any emergency, still come around because we'll be there to receive and attend to them.
The minister also emphasized that every policy, investment and strategy being implemented under the Nigerian Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative is anchored on their well-being, motivation and professional fulfillment. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is engaging partners and other stakeholders from the 36 states of Nigeria to build and identify emerging gaps, blend knowledge and share experiences into actionable strategies that can drive meaningful change towards food sovereignty and security in Nigeria. Haruna Mohammed reports that the 47th regular meeting of the National Council on Agriculture and Food Security is taking place in Kaduna.
Agriculture contributes significantly to the gross domestic product of a country and also remains a major source of livelihood for millions of citizens. Beyond food production, the sector plays a crucial role in poverty reduction, ensuring food security and fostering national stability. This 47th regular meeting of the National Council on Agriculture and Food Security provides a platform for deliberation on policies, innovations, and collaborative strategies aimed at ensuring food sovereignty and long-term food security in Nigeria. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, who chairs the technical session, Marcos Olani Ogumbi, emphasized the need for synergy among the federal and state governments to achieve the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, especially in the area of food production and distribution. He urged participants to brainstorm on strategies to boost agricultural productivity, strengthen extension services, and enhance private sector participation in food value chain.
This has continued to drive our activities because we are there to ensure that every Nigerian does not go to bed with hunger. And that is why today the theme for Council is food sovereignty and food security in an era of renewed hope.
We are working very hard to grow the crops and even livestock so that we'll have enough food to feed ourselves and at the end of the day export.
As discussions continue, participants express optimism that the meeting will translate into concrete actions towards achieving food sovereignty and security in Nigeria. In Kaduna, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA. You're welcome back. As Africa pushes to strengthen research capacity, innovation and regional academic collaboration, Nigeria has taken a major step with the launch of the African Center of Excellence Alliance. The initiative, unveiled by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, is designed to boost scientific research, health and ICT development across higher institutions on the continent. Christiana Akonde reports.
A decade after its establishment, with Nigeria playing a leading role and hosting many centers, critical question continues to echo across the continent. Can Africa become a true hub for research and innovation? Today, the answer is yes. The Africa Center of Excellence Alliance has been created to build on these successes, sustaining collaboration, expanding networks among centers, strengthening academia industry partnerships, and deepening engagement with policymakers and key stakeholders.
By fostering excellence in research, teaching, and innovation, the ACEs are helping to shape the skilled workforce.
Through the ACEs, Nigeria has attracted regional students and faculty from across Africa, promoting integration and cross-border collaboration.
Through this alliance, the centers will not only continue their research and capacity building missions, but we also work together more strategically to influence policy, attract investment, and deliver impact on a larger scale.
Now is the time to act. To universities, we'd like to say, continue striving for excellence in teaching, research, and innovation.
The minister also unveils the ACE Compendium, a 4-volume publication documenting a decade of groundbreaking achievements across Nigeria's African Centers of Excellence. In Abuja, Christiana Akonde, NTA News.
A 3-day performance management workshop is underway in Abuja for agencies under the Ministry of Interior. The training aims to strengthen efficiency, accountability, and measurable results across the paramilitary services. Victor Azul reports.
A new order is emerging in the Ministry of Interior, one where performance, not position, defines progress. This 3-day workshop brings together officers from the correctional, immigration, civil defense and fire services to sharpen how they plan, measure and deliver results. Whether on the front lines of security or behind administrative desks, the goal is to build a service culture where duty is matched by measurable outcomes.
You have to go down to your unit, to your department, to go and castigate this thing down.
I encourage you to make the most of this opportunity. I want you to listen attentively, engage fully, and reflect on how these principles can be applied in your everyday duties.
We will ensure that we engage actively and we achieve as much as we can, and it will serve as a learning curve for us all.
The essence of it is to really reduce
the paperwork. In other words, transmitting to paperless regime.
For the Minister of Interior, it is a turning point, one that rewards diligence and results, not merely years in uniform.
Gone are the days when the only criteria for growth is seniority. Today, the major qualification, major criteria for growth is efficiency and performance.
As the workshop continues, participants are expected to translate this policy shift into daily practice, because in public service, results, not rank, will now tell the story. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NT News.
The Nigerian police force has been urged to remain apolitical and exhibit high level of professionalism in the discharge of their duty during the November 8 Anambra governorship election. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokun, gave the charge during a visit to the Anambra Police Command. Daniel Upai reports.
The Inspector General of Police, represented by Deputy Inspector General of Police Benjamin Okolo's visit to Anambra State, is symbolic and reaffirmation of Nigerian police force to guarantee a peaceful, secure and hitch-free governorship election. Addressing men of the police force in Awka, the IGP reminds them to be apolitical and professional in the discharge of their duties and urges them to shun every electoral offences capable of shading the force in bad light.
The force shall remain neutral yet assertive, civil yet fair, professional yet unyielding in the discharge of our duties during this election process. You are going to be accountable for your actions and you are being monitored.
The Nigerian Police Force remains the lead agency for internal security and election management and have lived up to its billing in carrying out this constitutional mandate. In Awka, Daniel Okbai, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party is sinking into deeper crisis as the Senator Samuel Anyanwu-led faction takes over the national headquarters of the party in Abuja amidst tight security. Timothy Yusuf tells us more.
For the PDP, the major opposition political party, this Monday began with a convergence of party members and supporters of the declared acting national chairman of the PDP, Mohammed Abdurrahman, by the Wike Anyanwu-led faction. They thereafter proceeded to the Wadata Plaza, national headquarters of the PDP. Heavy security presence here as the vice chairman, PDP North Central, Mohammed Abdurrahman, accompanied by loyal NWC members, assumes office as the party's acting national chairman, promising to heal the party of its wounds.
A lot of wrongdoings within the party, and the highest organ of the party, which is the National Working Committee, now look into and agree to make a possibility of having a leadership that will bring everybody together. And that is why the former national chairman was being suspended, and that's how I emerged as an active national chairman for our party.
Yeah, he's active chairman for now. He will act until we get a substantive chairman. For now, everything about we are obeying the court order. The court judgment is quite clear, and we are not adverse of doing the convention, but we want the right thing to be done, so that our party will be strong and to go into convention with one unity.
Abdurrahman was declared acting national chairman of the PDP by the Samuel Anyanwu-led National Working Committee after it announced the suspension of the party's national chairman, Umar Damagum, and the National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, and 4 others. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Advocacy for moral renewal and purposeful service among Nigerians is underway in the country, as Abe Williams reports.
It was a moment of joy and celebration as worshippers, friends and well-wishers gathered to witness the inauguration of the Capital Church in Mabushi, Abuja. Guest minister at the event, Reverend Omar Pella, urged Christians to remain steadfast in faith and to contribute to the national development through godly living and sacrifice to others.
When an individual receives Jesus, he receives the right life of God. And living that right life of God, you'll find that, a lot of things, like people will say that maybe corruption and all of that, will leave the individual.
For the president and founder, Dr. Victor Obija, the vision of the church is to raise a people of excellence, integrity, and impact who will serve God and humanity with purpose.
We are a governmental church. We raise leaders, people who are kingdom-minded and kingdom-expressive, reforming society through the excellence of their lives and the projects that they do carry out in their various fields of influence.
It's been an amazing section from all the speakers that have been participating in this event, and the inauguration so far is a sign that God's grace and God's presence are comes to rest here, and it's from Abuja to the nation.
Members say the new facility will serve as a home of hope and spiritual growth for residents of the Federal Capital Territory and beyond.
It's a church that is unique in that it is founded on the dual mandate of Jesus Christ.
The angle of this church, because they have other branches of the church, but this one called the Capital Church has been set up as an aspect that will be involved in nation building, that will teach Christians the value of being relevant.
Highlights of the event include the unveiling of the name and a book launch. With its door now open, the Capital Church Mabushi seeks to stand as a beacon of faith and transformation in the heart of the nation's capital. In Abuja, Asabe Williams, NTA News.
Now, this is where we come to the end of the news. I'm Lami Ali, and the sign language interpreter is Shegun Ajayi. We thank you for watching.